where overweight and obesity kills more than does underweight.
Yes, that's true.
And then it says also, it said more than 40 million children under the age of 5 were overweight in 2010.
Yes,
That's
it's
recently.
still growing. It's
Still growing.
Yeah.
But the good news is that obesity is preventable.
Exactly, you can do something about it.
Now, it says overweight and obesity are the fifth leading risk for global deaths.
Well, yes, overweight causes a lot of problems, of course, like diabetes or heart problems, even with little children.
Yeah.
I have had a child who was 10 years old and already has diabetes caused by the overweight.
How old was that? How heavy was that child?
It was a little boy, and he was not that large, and he was 80 kilos.
10 years old?
10 years old.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something that you see more and more, and that's a huge problem, literally. It's a huge problem.
It is.
And you see people coming from Africa and Suriname with a good weight, because especially African people are taking well care of themselves and their weight, and then they come to Holland and they're growing. Every year I see them back, and within a couple of years they are overweighted. And that's
sad.
Sad, yeah.
It's sad. Okay.
Because it's based on wrong choices.
Wrong choices, and that's what we want to look at today. But please tell us, Janet, what exactly do you mean by obesity and overweight? What's the difference between the two?
Well, overweight means that you have a BMI from 25, and obesity means that you are even more overweighted. At least you are 50 kilos overweighted.
Can you explain that again?
Yeah, well, you have a measurement, BMI, which is between your length and your weight.
Yes.
And when it's above 30, then you have obesity, and then you're at risk for your health. You're really at risk. Yeah, and the shorter you are, the huger the problem gets.
Really?
And most people from Africa are rather long, rather tall. So that means that when they have obesity, they are at least 50 or 60 kilos overweighted, which is my weight. They have put my weight on.
Wow.
So that's quite a lot. Yes.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Now, so how may anyone know when they are overweight? Can they tell all by themselves? Can they tell that they are overweight?
Yes, there's
how would I know, for example, if I'm overweight?
Yeah, well, it's a very easy way. You take your length.
Yeah.
Say 172.
Yes.
And you take the meter off, as we call it, and then you keep 72, and that should be around your weight. So you should be around 72 kilos when you have that, when you are 172. So it's rather easy to see whether you're overweighted. So if you are 80 kilos, you know you are 8 kilos overweighted. And we don't really see that anymore.
No.
We see so many people who are 80 or 85 or 90 kilos that we don't really look at ourselves and see that we are overweighted. So you simply have to take your length and go on the scale and look at it very clearly and see if you are overweighted. And even if you are 5 kilo overweighted, then already start with taking it off.
Okay, so to get a BMI, you take your weight and divide by...
And your length.
Yeah. Your height, yes.
Your height. And then you take 1 meter off. So if you're 172, you take 72 kilos as your right weight. That doesn't count for children, because for children it's a little bit different. But for adults, it's a very easy way to look at your own weight. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you take it off, then how about your weight?
Yeah.
He's silent now, because I can see his right weight.
Okay, so what is the cause of obesity? Is it just the fatty foods that we all know about, that people are eating, or is it their lifestyle, or both? What is the cause? Because for a long time, we have been talking about this. People have been bringing it to the forefront. People have been talking about this health issue.
Yeah.
But still, the problem is that recently I went for a checkup myself, and I was told I was overweight. My weight was much more than it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I was surprised because I don't eat that much, really.
No, it's
only once in a while I eat fruit. Once in a while. Even then, for me, it's a delicacy.
But alcohol?
Don't.
Oh,
No, good, good. Because alcohol is a big problem. Because even though people say they're not drinking, they sometimes do. And alcohol always becomes fat.
Okay.
And alcohol always becomes fat around the middle.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's the waist, that's a very big problem. Because there is a difference in overweight. If the weight is around the waist, the problem is even bigger. Because that's what's causing diabetes.
Oh, okay.
And alcohol causes that. And of course fatty food, but of course sugar. Sugar is one of the things that is the main problem, I think. Yeah.
Now imagine somebody who doesn't eat, let's say somebody eats once a day, maybe a main meal once a day, maybe in the evening. During the day maybe it's some light, some snacks, maybe a sandwich or two.
Yeah.
And then in the evening it takes one meal.
Yeah. And
then the person still kind of puts on weight.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Yeah,
Why
well,
should that be?
There are two problems there. First of all, it's not very wise in a cold country to eat a large meal in the evening.
Okay.
Because if you are living in a hot country, you still go outside, you still take a walk, you sweat, there's a different climate, so you can eat a large meal. But when you are living in a cold country, you eat a meal, and if it's too large, you are at home, you sit by the television, you close the doors, and nothing happens. Okay. So the weight stays on far more easily.
Yes.
Wow.
And then, of course, immediately there's the other problem of not exercising enough. People stay in the home, it's cold, especially those last weeks when it's, there's ice outside and snow, people stay inside. And if you are inside all day, even though you clean the windows or you clean your house, you don't need so much food. You'll be surprised about how less food you need when you're not exercising. So that are the main problems. Alcohol, sweet and fat, and exercising of not enough exercise.
Not enough exercise.
Yeah.
So I would put a problem more on the side of the lifestyle, not having much exercise, because some people don't really eat that much.
No, that's true. But they eat on the wrong time.
Also the wrong time.
That's one of the
things. That may be my problem, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
eating late, a large meal.
Yes. Yeah. I think that may be the issue.
Yeah.
Perhaps with most other people, because and so it's not so much of eating fatty foods or eating too much sugar.
No, it's a combination of everything.
Of all these things.
Yeah, and you don't sweat here.
Yes, you don't sweat here.
That's also a problem because.
So how do we? What kind of advice do you have for people who want to tackle this problem? They don't eat much fatty food, but maybe they eat maybe late, maybe eat heavy. What is the practical advice for people in this kind of situation?
Because the practical advice is to eat during the day,
and
not take an African meal in the evening.
Yes.
But eat it during the day. That's drink a lot of water.
Yes, a lot of water.
Because people forget to drink water because it's cold here, so they don't drink water. And do daily exercise. You don't have to go to the gym or anything like that, but do daily exercise.
Now, can you give us something from, as an example from your personal life? In a practical way, how do you manage your weight?
Well, I have a lot of children, that helps. But taking the stairs and going by, taking a walk, because now I'm going to walk to my work. That's. Cleaning the house, which is also doing your shopping, not once a day, but maybe a couple of times a day. Walk with your grandchildren, just easy things to daily exercise. I think if you do that, that will take off the weight more easily. And on Sundays, go and have a walk with all the family. You can sit in the home and eat, but you can also go outside and walk and talk and and dance, of course.
And dance.
Dance, yes.
Okay. Well, if you're listening to this program, we're giving some tips on how to stay healthy. Perhaps you do not realize, but the lifestyle and the environment and the climate and all these things really affect our health. And so we're looking at practical and simple ways of keeping healthy. It is very, very easy to put on weight here in Holland because of the weather and the climate. And we are all forced often to stay indoors. Like we go to work in the day, and then we come back home, we want to rest, relax, watch TV, and eat, and then before you know, we sleep off, and then wake up the next day, we are off again. So there are a lot of things which actually make us not so active.
Yes.
Perhaps at work we sit a lot, don't move about much. So all this is combined together can have an influence on our health. And that's why we are doing this program and trying to talk about ways and means of avoiding overweight and obesity. It's very easy to come by, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Very, very easy
but
to
get
come by.
weight off is really, really difficult. It takes you twice as long.
Well, I found out something very interesting, Janet. Recently I went to see my dietitian, and because I had some, weight problem. I'm not looking so fat, but still, they told me I was overweight.
That's possible.
But they recommended a couple of changes in my diet. I had to drink a lot of water, like you said, and also drink a lot of tea. But the next time I had an appointment, I went. They told me I had lost about 10 kilos, which surprised me. I look at him in unbelief. You don't mean what you're saying. Now, so I realized that, I
little
constantly
changes
drank
can do so much.
a lot of water, a lot of tea, and it just went off.
Taking the stairs, walking a little bit. There are small changes that create a lot of change in your weight. And you can do it by yourself. You don't have to take anything, you don't have to go to a doctor for it. You simply have to make some changes.
So you can get that loud and clear. This is what you need to you can prolong your life and also stay healthy. You need to do that for your own good and for the sake of those you love and those who love you. If you have a question for our dietitian today, give us a call on 020-737-161. Her name is Janet Murris. She's here for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question.
You have a question? Yeah, go ahead.
Janet, I do hear you make mention of not eating the African food, or what do you say?
Yes.
All right. Now, but the case of
the
case of obesity is not just something about Africa.
No, absolutely.
Because I've seen so many people who are Caucasians and they are very, very fat.
Absolutely.
I mean, sometimes when
people become fat here in Holland.
Yeah.
Because they take all those sweet things and all those fatty things
Yeah.
that are not eating when they are in Africa or in Suriname. And they change the way of, in Africa they eat plantain, they eat yam, they eat fish. Those are very healthy things.
Okay.
And here in Holland, things are expensive. They choose other things. And then even though they take a large meal, like fufu, they don't make it of plantain anymore, but they make it of potato starch.
Okay.
And then it becomes very heavy. And then it's not such a good choice.
Do you eat fufu, by the way? Have you tried it?
Yes, of course. I have a lot of African friends.
That's nice.
Oh my God.
Okay. Now, let's answer this question, then we'll take a short break. Can you remind us one more time of the health risks posed by obesity and overweight? Please
Yes,
take your time to clearly tell us.
Yeah, because it causes diabetes, and that's one of the main problems. They say that even in a few years, 6 of the 10 people will have diabetes, which is a whole lot. And then, of course, the problems of heart and veins, because your cholesterol raises.
Okay.
Your cholesterol goes up, so that's a risk. And of course, your whole body. If you become larger and heavier, it's not good for your knees and for your feet. And,
Exactly.
You carry around weight all day. Yeah.
So
and especially for little children, because it's very difficult to get the weight off if you get older.
But I don't understand with the children. The children are in school much of the time.
Yes.
Is it that they are not allowed to do exercises in school? Because I remember when I was growing up as a child, in Africa, we had on the curriculum time for physical exercise.
Yes.
And we had special, clothes for that, pants and singlets. And so we were made to go out to do physical exercise. Well, don't we have that in the curriculum here?
Children exercise at school indoors.
Indoors, okay.
Indoors because, look at the weather, it's difficult to go outdoors.
Yeah.
And it's only 2 hours a week. And then they go home and they sit behind the computer. So you, as a parent, you do have to motivate them to go outside and to go outdoors and to go to the gym or simply cycle or, but then you have to do it yourself too, I think.
So I have another question, please. The case of the children obesity, is it because they are not? Is it because of their food? Because sometimes you go to the potato.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit about the food and especially the snacks.
Yeah, the snacks.
Children are eating a lot of chips and a lot of candy bars, and they sit behind the computer all day. I think that's one of the main problems. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we want to take a short break and then we'll be back. But in the meantime, we still welcome your questions to Miss Janet Morris. If you have a question about your diet, you want a combination of diet, you want to change something which can help you. And I believe that you don't have to make big changes to your lifestyle in order to lose weight. So give us a call and on 020737161.
Yes, I understand the question about using a tablet to get the weight down.
Oh, one second. Let me put you on. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, you asked me about a tablet to get the weight down. At this moment, there are no tablets available to get the weight down because there have been a few, but they were very dangerous because they bring the heartbeat up and things like that. So they're not existing anymore. And so there is not a possibility of taking a tablet. There are only some fiber tablets who will take away the hunger, but that's more alternative. It's not a real medication.
Oh, okay. Alternative medicine.
Yeah.
Is the question answered, sir? Keep listening.
That's one of the things that people ask a lot about tablets.
Yeah. Yes, go to the microphone, please. Yes, definitely.
Give us a call if you have a question regarding your diet, how to deal with your weight. The dietitian is here. You can take that opportunity and get answers to your questions. There's a lady here who yes, go ahead, madam.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my question is this. You have a lot of desperate people.
Yes.
Do you understand? And you have a lot of medicine on the internet.
Yes.
Advising you on the advertisement, when you take this is how I was before, after taking this is how I am now. People are so desperate to listen to a lot of things and to go out for a lot of things. What kind of advice do you have for these people?
Yes.
Well, I always tell them, if it worked, would there be any fat people? So I think that's a proof that those things are not working. And they can be dangerous. Because one of the things that they do is they bring your heartbeat up. And especially when you already have a problem with your heart because you're overweighted, that might cause a lot of problems. And then they're very expensive. So, if they would have been working, we all would be slim. So I think that's a proof that they're not working. So I always advise them, don't do it. First see a dietitian or someone else who can help you. Try simple changes. And if it's not working, then go and see your house doctor to see if there's any additional help.
But sometimes you do see people, I think fat is genetic, I can say.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good point.
You see a lot of people, they do their best to fight this thing off. Okay.
Absolutely.
In the next 3 months, it's off. But within 2 weeks,
It comes
it's
back.
all back
Yes,
again.
exactly. That's a very.
What do you say to these people? How do they keep it? Because definitely they don't want to be fat.
No, that's
But
true.
it's a thing they could not help with because even drinking a lot of water, sometimes water, it adds to their problem.
Yeah.
Even a simple bread, just one slice of bread, it adds to their problem. How do you advise these people?
Yeah, well, it's a very huge problem because people change their food for a little while, and sometimes they take tablets or they take other kinds of things, and they lose weight very fast. And if you lose weight very fast, then you gain it again very fast.
Wow.
Because like a sponge, you squeeze the body, you squeeze all the fat out, but then at the same time, when you start eating something again, it fills it up again. So what you really have to do is burn fat, and that is a very slow process.
Okay.
So you have to lose weight, maybe a pound a week, but people want it very fast.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the main problem. So I always tell them, lose weight very slowly. If you lose it slowly, you really burn the fat and you change the way you are eating, you change your lifestyle. And if you change your lifestyle, you can keep the weight.
Okay, this is my my second to my last question anyway.
Yes.
Don't you think, since this is your profession, you need to advise the government as well, in the sense that now people we are buying food, then in the middle of the time you see this Euros products
Yes.
that is cheaper.
Yes.
People got to adjust to their wallet because look, things are being increased every day, but your salary stays the same thing.
Exactly.
People with 2, 3 children, 4 children, they need to make ends meet for their children. So they have to devise a means of going to this Euro cheaper things, which at the end of the day, if you follow this thing, they contain a lot of fat, more than the normal things. Then later on, you see they came out with biological food, which is more expensive. How do you balance these people's life?
That's a practical question. I like that.
Absolutely, because it doesn't mean that if you don't have enough money,
you cannot eat
you
good.
cannot buy good food. Because it's always possible. And it's not always so that the cheap things are not good.
No.
Because if you look at a Lidl, which is a very cheap shop, you can still buy terrific food there.
Yes.
Especially the fish in the cans, which have no price at all, but maybe €1. And still they're very good. But you have to realize which choices you have to make. And what is very important then is that you know what choices you have to make. If you come from Africa, sometimes you don't know the food here, but if you know it, you can make your choices. So I always help people. I sometimes go with people to the supermarket, show them around, show them, because people think they have to buy fresh fish, for instance, while the fish in the cans is very good. So you have to be practical. I go with people to the shops, I show them what they can buy, and even with less money you can buy good food.
Yes, exactly.
On the market or with a little, but make the right choice. Don't buy chips because the children want it, or don't buy cheese. Cheese is very expensive, but it is the cause of many African people to gain weight because it has 60% of fat.
Wow.
And if you leave out the cheese, you can buy something else, fish, for instance. So I think it's possible to make good choices. I'm 35 years, I'm dietitian now here in the Bijlmer, and I've helped a lot of people making good choices.
Yes.
So balance what you buy, look at what you can buy in the market, buy the fresh food which is cheap on that moment. Don't buy strawberries in the winter, it's not necessary.
Yes.
It's simple.
Okay.
Simple food.
Okay, you see, my people, the African people,
Yes.
like me, I take care of myself. At 53, I thank God.
Wow.
Do you understand? But when people ask me how do I keep this, I let them understand. When I want to cook my meat, I slim fit everything. I have to cook and throw the water in because the whole fat needs to leave my meat before preparing my
Because
food.
the meat in Holland is very fat.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
But my people, they jam everything together. Before you know it, you see the oil.
It must come up so
oil
much.
above it.
More than the whole thing. And how do you...
I always say, let the food become cold and take
just
away
hold
the
on,
fat.
Kola.
That's a very good thing to
we'll
do.
Join us soon.
Thank you very much for your time.
Well,
God bless
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Kola, go ahead, sir, madam. Yes, a question for Janet. Yes, go ahead. Can you raise your voice a little bit? Yeah. That's why you're getting fat?
Fat.
Yes, and I want to ask, is it true? Because that is not also, you can start to gain...
Lose weight, you mean?
No.
Or gain weight, okay.
Yeah, I understand your question. You're drinking a lot of water and you have the feeling that you gain weight by it.
Yeah, I gain weight, but my husband said to me I gain weight back because I drink a lot of water. And now I feel no change that I'm losing weight.
Yeah, well, it is. You don't have to drink more than 1.5 liter, because sometimes people drink 2 or 2.5 liter, which is way too much. So 1.5 liter is enough.
Oh, so too much doesn't be bad.
Too much is not good because you retain the water. And if you retain the water, you become bigger. So don't drink too much. It's 1.5 liter with the tea and the water together. So if you drink 1 liter of water and 1/2 liter of tea and coffee, that is enough. And your husband might be right that if you drink too much, you retain the water and you become heavier.
Bloated. Wow,
Yes.
I never knew this one.
Wow.
And you can even become dizzy if you drink too much water.
Wow.
You can become dizzy. So don't drink too much.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The rules are many. Well, if you still have a question, give us a call on 020-737-1619. Okay, this music, take this music in the meantime.
And you don't have to have a diet. It's also for healthy foods, like the lady was saying, just taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Healthy food advices.
Mm-hmm.
That's also
you can go to the dietitian and for free because it's in the insurance package.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, wonderful. We're talking about how to treat obesity for children and adults. We spoke about the children, after school, the parents also should make sure that the children go outside, play and all that, in order to bring their weight under control. Now, with the adults, I believe, is there anything extra that you would like to suggest to help bring things under control? Because the lady who asked the question earlier spoke about people who have a genetic problem of, obesity in their lives or in their family.
Yeah, well, I think one of the good things that parents sometimes are doing is feeding the child the hot meal when they come from school.
Mm.
And that's very important. And not wait until 6 or 7 o'clock to give the children their hot meal, because then when they come from school they're hungry, and then they take all kinds of snacks, and then they eat their hot meal and they don't even feel like eating it anymore.
Mm.
And it's a very good thing to give the children the food when they come home, because then they're hungry, and then they can take their hot meal, and then they don't eat that much during the day.
Hello, good morning. Yes, go ahead, Sarah.
I want to know, is this grist meal, is it good for us?
Grist meal.
Grist meal at what time of day? It doesn't matter.
Maybe like maybe 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
To eat the grist meal, and also potato, and each potato, how many days?
Okay, potatoes and grist meal.
Well, it's
quantity?
always better to eat at 2 o'clock than late in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always a good choice. And I think grist meal is a good choice, as long as you don't put too much fat in it. Like the lady was saying, it doesn't have to be smothered in fat.
Mm-hmm.
But don't think that potatoes are better, because I always see that people think that potatoes are better, but it's not. Just take the African variations like plantain or yam or banku or or cassava, the Suriname cassava, which is a better choice than potatoes, because potatoes raises the blood sugar, doesn't fill you, and it's not always a good choice to take that. So take the African variations and take it at 2 o'clock, which is far better than taking it at 7 or 8.
But the problem is when people are hungry by that time, they can't take it.
Yeah, you're working like.
Yeah, that's. But if you are in the possibility of eating, then it's always better. And maybe you can eat at 4, or when the children
You're still
come
in the
home.
office.
If not, then eat as early as possible.
She mentioned something about the quantity of potatoes.
Yeah, if you take potatoes, 3 potatoes, like an egg, like an egg, 3 is enough.
3 potatoes.
Yeah.
3 balls or something.
Yeah,
like
3
that.
bowls of potatoes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And don't add potato starch. A lot of people add potato starch when they when they smash the potatoes, and then it becomes very, very heavy and has a lot of calories.
Oh, calories.
African food. Wow.
Go ahead.
If I'm a chiefman, the problem of my people is we constantly, from Monday to Sunday, eat fufu.
Yes.
That is a basic problem, because when you finish eating this thing, it's heavy.
Yeah, and especially when you add potato starch with it, because it's cheaper, people use that, and it becomes heavy. And if you put a lot of fat with it, then you have a little problem.
So what I'm trying to say is, husband and wife in this country learn how to take a walk every evening before you go to bed.
Absolutely.
Because there's a saying, once the black man finish eating, all you
He
need
goes
is
to
your
sleep.
bed. No exercise, no nothing. Even talk the children into bed is a heavy job. So go to your bed, and everybody learn to take a walk.
Yes.
Every evening with your children, with your husband.
In the weekends.
In the weekend.
Go outside.
You come back home, you feel refreshed and go to bed.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the following day you are
And then you
lighter.
digest the food. You still
Exactly.
use it.
Exactly.
It's not going to be around your waist.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
So
a
if
very
we
good
the
thing.
Africans can do this, trust me, we're going a long way, and we prolong our
Absolutely.
lifespan in a lot of places,
Absolutely.
because what a mother or father does is what the children learn.
That's what I said. If you go out in the weekend, the
Oh.
children will go
Also.
outdoors too.
Yeah.
If
You
you,
have
do
to
go
give
to
the
church, if you
example.
do go to church, take the opportunity to have a nice disco time with the Lord, dance it out and dance the whole fun out. At the end
That's
of the
what
day,
I
you feel
said.
wonderful.
Dance.
That's people are going to do it.
Absolutely.
Thank
we
you.
can go out together. You
Uh-huh.
know, eat a small meal and then dance.
Yeah, one last question.
True.
What about drinking tea? Tell us about how does that
Often.
help really to bring
Yes.
down the weight? Explain that to us, please.
If you drink green tea, that's a good choice, but don't put any sugar in it.
Mhm.
And I know that a lot of people are afraid of sweeteners because they say it's not good. And of course, you shouldn't use them in huge amounts. But if you don't like your tea without a little sweetener, it's not a problem. And then it's good. It's good to drink more tea, but not 1.5 liter, like I said. You know,
How different is green tea from maybe Lipton or
well,
any of
green
the other
tea,
brands?
they say that it's good for your weight. It's not completely evidence-based, but they say it's better for your weight than black tea. And of course, green tea you can drink easily without sugar.
Yeah.
That's also a difference, because black tea you always
Yes,
have to
yeah,
put milk and sugar in
Yeah,
it
to
to make
bring
it
the
tasty.
taste.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, our time is almost up, and we're so grateful. Thank you so very much for coming today.
Thank you.
I don't know whether you have any last word you want to give to our listeners before we sign off.
Yeah.
Well, I think the African people are taking well care of their health and their weight, but you know, just stay at the right weight. Then you don't cause problems for later. And
No.
I think I'll go and with this lady and have a nice small meal and dance. I think everybody should.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.